Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. And let's see what these tea leaves have to say today. Tonight. It is night, actually. It's almost bedtime. Okay, so our card is the Magician. And because this is a Scorpio bonus reading, we are using the Carnival at the End of the World deck. And this is the card. Isn't that beautiful? I love this deck so much. I would probably use it more, but I really, my husband got me turned on to the Thoth deck and now I'm just like in love with it. So that's the one I like to use for most of our readings. Okay, so the Magician. I just had the Magician the other day in another reading, and I really feel like, and actually, you know what? It was in one of my personal readings. I do a reading for myself every morning, and yeah, it was like maybe 3 days ago. So it really is the energy. And for me, it's so much about world creating the reality that we live in. Okay. Kind of taking control in an active way, how we react to things, how we perceive things, how we approach the things that we hold with us, the things that we honor, the things that we dispel, the things that we put aside for later, right? And this is all the work of the Magician. Not only that, studying, okay? Maybe not the most interesting part, but it is studying, learning widely, okay, about whatever kind of piques your interest. It's important for any practitioner, anybody who is, you know, making art, writing, creating a business, raising a family. I think personally, this is my own opinion, we must continue to learn every day as much as we can. It does not have to be academic. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. It could be skills. It could be just little factoids. We have the universe at our fingertips, right? Our phones. And so why not? We should be learning widely, at least experiencing things. And that is all part of that Magician energy. Now, I'm going to go this way. I want to look at it right here, okay? And immediately I saw we have a monkey, okay? Tail, little head, a little bird sitting on top. And I'm trying to see, it looks like the monkey is kind of trying to grab. It looks like a maybe a bowl or a cup. Maybe it is the Ace of Cups. And then we have two other people who are also holding on, okay? So the monkey to me is not unlike the Fool, okay? There is a lack of inhibition there, a lack of ties to societal norms, and you know, just like kind of basic rules of how we should be, how we shouldn't be, you know, what we should do, what we shouldn't do. Just going off of not only impulse, but instinct, intuition, the will at its deepest level. Deep will is what we would call that. And the other part, though, is an unrefined reactions, okay? Maybe sometimes reactions that don't really fit the situation, over the top. or maybe none, right? Just kind of sometimes kind of taken by, it's not just impulse. I guess it's just kind of as a child would, or, you know, maybe somebody who, well, is just, I don't know, how should I say this? Somebody who experiences feelings a little differently, who communicates a little differently, you know, and so I'm not relating this to the Fool. Don't get me wrong. This is to the archetype of the Fool, who, in my mind, is the most prestigious of all. So don't get that twisted up. Yeah, there is a feeling of just kind of being a little, maybe a little bit silly, maybe not being serious about things, quick to anger, overstimulation, you know, just really there but not involved in what is happening, okay? Now, when we have it with the bowl or the cup, we know the cup is the vessel of the waters, okay? The emotional waters, the waters of creation, the divine waters. We have two other people kind of, I feel like almost everybody's turned, like it's not necessarily fighting like children, but yeah, grabbing at it, trying to pull it their way. It's my turn. It's my turn. Okay. And so, you know, I feel like this could be parts of self. There's a little bit of conflict. Maybe really feeling like, I just need to, you know, take a break, let loose, experience my emotions in a way that's a little less refined, a little less restricted, okay? On the other hand, there are these other two sides of you, the other two parts, archetypes or, you know, personas or whatever, kind of, you know, pulling at this cup as well, okay, wanting to take the lead. So there seems to be a shifting of modes here, and it seems like it could be something that's happening fairly quickly. Okay, so maybe you're finding yourself at one moment being carefree, doing what you want, having fun, you know, not really paying attention to like whatever's going on and doing your own thing. Hello. I'm not trying to grab you. I just don't want you to fall. I don't want you to fall. Go ahead. There you go. Please don't pull the table over. Thank you. And so the other parts, though, I think are, you know, all of a sudden I'm very sad. I'm very upset. I'm feeling very lonely. And the other part's like, okay, get over it. You know, we have work to do. There's so much to be done in so little time, you know, and it's kind of just a little bit of this go around between the 3 or 4 or 5, whatever it is. And so this makes me think that there is some amount of stress in your life right now, which makes sense. We've, you know, done some readings and seen that there have been some things that have been difficult for Scorpio in the last months and years, leading up to the now. And so, you know, I really think with this, the monkey, we have the little bird on the head, the bird, okay, interesting, because it's like messaging from that higher, you know, that higher place, that divine place, that interior, you know, whatever it is, guardian angel, daemon, the higher self, the higher thinking self, you know, whatever you look at it as, something divine, something, you know, your consciousness, or conscience. But whatever it is coming through like a little light in all of this other stuff that's happening, okay? And I think that you know what you need to do, or at least what has worked for you in the past. you know, to kind of maybe balance out some of these shifting moods. Okay. And I turn this and I see very quickly we're going into this Empress mode. We have the enthroned person here, okay? And we also have, it looks like they are holding, let me see if I can see here. It looks like they're holding maybe maybe a cup actually here, right here. And we see kind of almost, I almost feel like it's like the coming together of elements. This one almost kind of looks like a little bit of fire here, okay, and maybe a little bit of earth, and we actually have a heart that is ablaze here. So, and actually cool, we have, and I'm sorry, let me see if I can get this right up here. We have an owl right here on the rim of the cup, okay, so I feel like, you know, with the Empress, there is always a sense of decisive action, okay? Really being able to make some firm decisions. But also there is a sense of deep consideration for all parts, okay? More so than the Emperor. The Emperor, I think, can kind of be a little more brutish, a little more, you know, hard about things. Whereas the Empress is not necessarily like fully, like we'd think of like the Queen of Cups or the Queen of Discs, but kind of more somebody who is diplomatic, okay? Very thoughtful, more diplomatic, okay? More willing to work with you on something, or you working with yourself, being considerate, but also very firm, okay? Keeping yourself accountable. Now we have the owl. So it is really that axis of wisdom. We have the heart with the flame. There is, and it's right on the edge there of the emotional and the metaphysical. So there is this sense of deep spirituality. Okay, that kind of sacred heart being, your heart being a flame for the divine. And we know this is usually like a Catholic symbol or a Christian symbol. And in this case, we use these symbols as kind of a more archetypal deal here. So it would be akin to agape. Okay, something like the relationship between the beloved and the divine. Okay, and you being the beloved, you also being the divine, right? Okay, and then we also have the fire up here. So there is illumination. Okay, and I really see you continuing, because I know in the other readings, you have made some decisions for yourself. You are already there. You are in this beginning of this new period of life. Okay, and yeah, there have been some hiccups, and that has been maddening. I also think at times, and especially because of the season, we get these kind of roller coasters of emotionality, okay? And that manifests maybe in a lot of different ways. I think, though, not unlike a mother, having to be kind of firm with yourself. Okay, keeping yourself on track. Obviously, enjoy where you can, but not too spiraling out. Okay, keep yourself anchored, grounded, centered. Okay, I think this is a really important time to stick to routines. To stick to any kind of ritual. And let me just say, I had a couple of comments a few days ago talking about, whatever, ritual is evil, ritual is mind control, whatever. Okay. Ritual is not just a word that it has to do with any kind of theism or occultism. Or ritual is a pattern of movements, of things that you are doing. Washing your hands can be a ritual. Okay, it doesn't have to be related to anything spiritual necessarily or religious. Okay, but we use this word because this is the correct word. Okay, finding things that are repetitive, that involve thinking, acting, sensory to some degree, and it's meaningful to you in some way. We do things, and routine can be ritual, right? So, I don't mean to offend anybody. I don't mean to alienate anybody. But, I do take issue with some of the comments when, they become intolerant to others, to the way that other people experience life or, do things. This is not a space for that. I do not encourage that. As I like to say on here, I always do this quote a little differently than it is written, but there are as many paths to God or the divine, whatever you believe in, energy, science, all of them together. There are many paths to that, as there are consciousnesses or souls, same kind of, on this earth or in this universe, in the infinite. Okay, so that means that we all have our own unique experiences, and this is a place where we will be tolerant of that. Okay, so I understand, I understand where people are coming from, but I'm not going to make other people uncomfortable, but we will use words like this sometimes. I'm sorry, sorry, not sorry. So anyways, a big time to empower self through ritual. If this is literally, getting up in a certain time, having your morning beverage, coffee, tea, water, whatever you have, sitting, contemplating, giving yourself some extra time, bathing, doing some intentional movement, getting to work or on the way to work or whatever you do. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm just using this as examples. But giving yourself time to go through this process where you're not scrambling. Okay. You're letting this be, and it doesn't have to last all day, of course. I mean, I have a toddler. I understand. Sometimes I have about, 5 minutes to do something, to do something slowly, to be in it. And so, I think that this is a time where you will find some power in following whatever routine or ritual that makes sense for you. I know we talked, well, I don't know what reading it was, but I talked a lot about like keeping an altar, okay, of some kind. It could be, familia, or it could be an ancestor, pictures, offerings, drawings of, if these are ancestors that, you are far past. It could be for deities, intelligences, spirits. It could just be, widely for nature, for science. It doesn't have to be any certain way. It could be anything. Like I said in the last reading, I talked about this. It could be a piece of fruit on the windowsill, offering to, whatever, you know. For me, I do these kinds of things, water, fruits, for what I call the backyard spirits. And it's kind of like a extension of votive offerings for household gods and those things that kind of watch out for us, keep us safe. This is also a big reason why, besides I love animals, but why I feed the outside birds and squirrels, because I truly believe, and I'm very superstitious, keep that in mind. I truly believe that they watch out for us. They take care of us because we are friendly with them and we treat them well, you know. So anyways, finding something like this for yourself, I think that's important. Now, we also have an anchor. Ooh, I just touched it. We also have an anchor, and oh, we have a little arrow right there. And we have a person who looks like they are planting, okay, sowing something, or taking care of the garden, possibly. Okay, so the anchor, again, staying grounded. Finding a place where when you're feeling like you could fly off the handle, feel like you could get lost in a, you know, some kind of spiral, or, you know, and I say these things, I don't want to get too specific, but, you know, sometimes we get into these places in life where we start making decisions that can be a little bit risky, that are out of the ordinary for us. They lead us down paths that, you know, maybe will not serve us well in the end. And so when we start to recognize those kinds of behaviors, we set down that anchor, right? We ground ourselves. We hold ourselves accountable. We reach out to our people who are our supports, who we trust. Okay, and if we don't have that, you know, there are a lot of communities online, you know, where you can find. I like to, and I don't have any affiliation with Reddit, but I love Reddit in the sense that you can be more anonymous there than most other places online. As long as you don't put your information in your account, you can post anonymously, or just kind of read, right? Read what people are posting. And, you know, there are plenty of times for me where I felt lost, especially in motherhood. I didn't know what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing most of the time, but I go on there and just kind of read through the things that people are talking about. How, you know, how they, just the other day, I was asking about hats for a toddler. What kind of hat, winter hat, can I get to keep on my toddler that she's not going to keep throwing off? Well, these are the places that I find those resources. And, you know, and you can find all kinds of other kinds of support there. I have definitely found support in my recovery. As some of you may or may not know, I am in recovery for almost 10 years here for substance abuse. And, you know, I find my support where I can, you know. I'm not picky. It comes from the places that you never imagine, honestly. You will be out at the grocery store talking to somebody you just met and find out, oh, hey, this person, you know, you just have a moment where you share. You're on the same level, heart to heart, you know, and that really can change the whole day for you, the whole week. And so, you know, when we're feeling like this and we recognize it, looking for those communities or the people that you already have that are supports, okay? Now, with the gardening, sowing seeds, I feel like, you know, this is where we've been. You've really been getting ready for this next period, and now you're in it. And it's starting to maybe sprout a little bit, right? You're starting to see those little green pieces coming through that beautiful materia, that potent and fertile soil. And And so we tend to it. And this is part of the whole feeling of the reading for me, is that you have begun to create something. It is taking hold. There is life there. You are in that magician place. The magician is all about making life where there was none before, creating something out of nothing, creating something out of many things, taking hold of old things or things that were before and turning them into their own, okay, their own meaning. And, you know, and maybe almost nobody can do this better than a Scorpio, in my opinion. You all are unconventional. You all have a bravery that most of us other signs don't have. You move in a way that, you know, can seem intimidating to some people, but it is something so beautiful and magical. Something that I think most people wish they could, right? You know, I think Gemini is like this in some ways too, a little more free-spirited, I think, but there's a precision to Scorpio that is just, you know, can leave us in awe. Now, it depends on what you do with your power, right? And that's the decision you have to make constantly. What are you going to do with this ability? Okay, now we have, it looks like a person who's in the wind, and it almost looks like somebody who's falling and somebody else who's falling right here. We have a person standing here kind of on top of something, somebody else who's falling, and I feel like this is maybe part of that, that shift in moods that's happening. I almost think that you've lost somebody or somebodies that were really important to you. Okay, maybe even like one of your great loves, romantic loves, and them not being here in this time manifest in their corporeal body is difficult for you. And this time of the season, time of the year, the season that we're going through, particularly poignant, right? A little more quiet, a little slower in the Northern Hemisphere. I'm sorry, Southern Hemisphere. I know I bring this up a lot. Well, you guys are wilding out, right? I hope, anyways. It's warm and lovely, and, you know, be safe though. But yes, it can be the holidays. You know, if it's warm or cold or in between, wherever you are, these holiday months, and there are a lot of holidays happening, right, of many faiths and many kind of national or cultural or whatever, a lot of different things happening, a lot of reasons to get together. And now, as you know, people have fallen away out of our life, it can be quite emotional to not have them around. Okay, so, you know, checking in with self. Yeah, and this might be one of the things that is kind of making you wobble a little bit, okay? But, you know, I want you to know you are loved, okay? You're not alone in all of this. And I'm trying to think what reading it was. Maybe it's even one of the ones coming out with this one. But I did talk about, you know, in this time when it starts to feel, there is, you know, that emptiness if you don't, create things to do for yourself. You know, if you don't have a family to spend the holidays with, you know, look in your community, find things that are going on, go and visit people who also don't have families to visit with. Older people especially, you know, these are the people that really, they need interaction. They need people to show up for them. And, you know, when we are feeling alone, you know, I understand kind of being in that place and being that kind of sunken place and trying to get out of it and not knowing how to do that. But, you know, we have to be proactive. And, you know, I want to say, I share my story because I don't want to be somebody who's kind of just, you know, talking out of pocket, like, oh, I know, whatever. You know, I do, because I was alone for years, for the holidays, by myself with my cats, which, you know, I love my cats, TT and Pudgy and stuff. But before I met my husband, I spent quite a few years by myself during the holidays. And I understand how hard it can be. You know, even if you get the invites and stuff, you still, I mean, it's so much. And, you know, so I want to extend the offer here as well as the other reading that I did. If you want to connect through the comments, please do. There are a lot of amazing people here, you know, that kind of really are very supportive of one another. And, you know, if you are in an area where you don't know how to find kind of resources where to volunteer, or maybe a place to go for like a shared meal or something, I'm pretty good with the internet. So you know, I don't want to talk myself up too much, but I'm pretty good at finding stuff. So if you do feel comfortable, privately, please don't put where you live in the comments, or your name or anything like that. But you can email me and I will help you. I'll help you find a place in your area that is local. Or if you just want to talk, you know, I sometimes take a while to get back to emails, but I will. Okay, so let's look at the Dreamer's deck. We have 40 affirmations for pursuing your dreams. We're just going to stop where it feels right, and we're going to read this together. And then I'm going to clean up and go to bed. All right. I know that my blessings come from being thankful for what I already have. I am grateful. Yes. I am grateful. I had a migraine today. I had to go shopping to the store because, you know, I'm just so great at planning. It was in the middle of the afternoon. And here it is, when this video comes out, it'll be on Thanksgiving. But as I'm recording it, it is the night before Thanksgiving. And I went to the store in the middle of the afternoon, the day before Thanksgiving. And if you can only imagine what the grocery store was like. Oh my goodness. But my daughter had fun. She liked it. She likes the crowd. I, on the other hand, anxiety. My husband, anxiety. So, but we made it out. We made it out okay. But I had a migraine after all of that. And thankfully it subsided. So anyhow, I am grateful. I hope that you find something to be grateful for. And you are very loved, Scorpio. You are some of my favorite people. Definitely. So if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing so. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. This is a Scorpio bonus reading. Okay, so your usual, I don't know what day it comes out off the top of my head, but there are dates on the community posts. There's a post that has the schedule on there, so look for that. Other than that, if you what else was I thinking? Oh yeah, if you want to leave a comment, please do. I read all of them. They mean so much to me. And with that, I'll say thank you. We'll talk in a few days. Bye, Scorpio.